In this episode, I reached Pedoulas in the mountains in the center of the island. Here I'm staying at a small family-owned hotel called Christy's Palace Hotel. It's been in the family since 1945 and it's now managed by Andreas Pavel. He's got such an interesting and unique story, including something about a romance that couldn't happen because his father didn't want him, a Greek Cypriot, to be with a Turkish Cypriot.
We loved each other, and I came at the point to get married to a Turkish girl, but my father didn't allow me.
That and so much more when I asked him to sit down with me on the last morning after breakfast. And this is where we start before I make my way across the border to northern Cyprus.
I think my front wheels of the car just stopped a few centimeters away from this hole, and if I hadn't seen the barrels in front of me, I would have driven on, and I would have been stuck there.
My name is Pedoulas. Welcome back to Cyprus.
Meet Pedoulas. At the age of 50, he made a bold decision. He sold everything and set out on a quest to visit every country in the world. This is The Radio Vagabond.
Before we start, let me remind you that this episode is supported in part by Hotels25.com. It's a website that helps you find the best deals on hotel rooms, guest houses, and hostels all over the world. Just go to Hotels25.com and make a simple search.
So, Mr. Andreas Pavel.
Pavel, yes.
Pavel, you're the manager here at this hotel, and you're actually, it's a family hotel, and it's been in the family for many years. We have some pictures on the wall here.
Yes, I got married to the daughter of the owner.
Yeah.
I worked in the Bank of Cyprus in a small branch below the hotel, just there.
Oh, the bank?
Yes. So I continued working at the bank until 1994.
Yeah.
Then for 1st January 1995, I'm running this hotel ever since. I finished with the Bank of Cyprus for 40 years as a branch manager, as a manager of retail banking. Anyway, I was one of the high officials of the Bank of Cyprus. And ever since, I'm living here in the hotel, managing this place.
When you were being a banker, did you ever think that you would be running a hotel?
Yes, I always was looking forward just to end my life here.
Yeah.
So we left the house in Nicosia to our sons. Uh-huh. You meet one of them tonight. And we're both running this place. Unfortunately, she died 7 years ago, so I'm alone just running.
When I look at the wall, there's a very old black and white photo of your wife's grandparents who started the hotel in 45?
Yes, yeah, they started, grandfather, you see there, started in 1945. Here are his original photos.
Yeah. And then your sister's father took over, and your sister's brother, and then eventually her and you.
Yes, and still the family of my brother-in-law, they are co-owners of this place. It's 50-50.
And we're in the small town called Pedoulas, and you're the ex-president of the council here. Yes, so what does a president do at the council? Is it like a mayor?
Like a mayor, yes. He's the corresponding mayor. We are called president of the council, but we are mayor, exactly the same duties. Yeah. Cleaning the village, giving licenses to hotels, to shops and so on, exactly the same. But that's finished anyway. Finished. We slowly will become, we'll join, we are 5 villages here, Pedoulas, Kalabot, and Mulas, so we're mixed up. You see, we are 5 villages here, we have 5 secretaries, we have 5 cleaners, we have 5. So now one will go around and collect taxes and so on.
Andreas Pavel. He's in his 80s, but still working. He used to be a banker and also the council president of Pedoulas, which is like a mayor for this small village.
Andreas, you are 88 years old. Are you ever going to retire?
I don't know, fella. I don't know what will happen.
Is there a next generation ready?
Yes, my son, you will meet him tonight. He's an architect. He studied in Manchester. You see him here with the President of the Republic. He's getting a prize because he was the best architect in 2019. Wow. He made and I'm there also with the President, somewhere...
The President of Cyprus?
The Republic, yes, with Anastasiadis. Wow. Is my son above. You will meet him tonight. Below, myself with the President of Cyprus.
Oh, yeah, I've seen pictures of him.
So I've got three sons. He's an architect. The other one is a civil engineer. And the smaller one, he's an insurance agent. So we are doing well anyway. I'm happy with my family.
The history of the Cyprus conflict is pretty interesting, but also quite complex. So lean in and pay attention.
Let's look in the history book.
Basically, it's about a disagreement between the two main groups living on the island, the Greek Cypriots and the Turkish Cypriots. As I'm sure you know, the island is divided into two parts, the Republic of Cyprus, which is where I am right now, and the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. The Republic of Cyprus, which is a recognized UN nation and a part of the European Union, is where the Greek Cypriots live, and the northern part, which is only recognized by Turkey as a country, is mostly inhabited by Turkish Cypriots. After World War II, lots of countries were getting independence from colonial rule, and Cyprus was one of them. It was a British colony, but in 1960 it became independent.
My best years were 1953 up to 1960. I lived in a Turkish place called Lefka. Yeah. There are 300 Greeks, 4,500 Turks. And believe me, those 7 years were the best of my life, just living among the Turks.
Lefka, that Andreas mentions, is a town north of where we are, but on the Turkish side. Andreas is a Greek Cypriot, but he liked hanging out with the Turks, and especially this one beautiful Turkish girl when he was a teenager. And that was a problem, because his father didn't approve.
We were very, very friendly. Yeah. We loved each other. And I came at the point to get married to a Turkish girl, but my father didn't allow me. Her father wanted to get married with a Greek Cypriot. He didn't want Turkish Cypriot. Friendly relations. Yeah. Very, very friendly. Yeah. Until the British decided to divide and rule.
The ultimate destination for armchair travelers who are looking for inspiration to get out into the real world and let loose their wanderlust. This is the Radio Vagabond.
The British involvement in Cyprus has deep historical roots and played a significant role in shaping the modern conflict. Cyprus was a British colony all the way back from 1878 until it gained independence in 1960. The British influence didn't just stop with colonialism. The terms of Cyprus's independence were set out in the Zurich and London Agreement, where Greece, Turkey, and United Kingdom took on the responsibility to ensure independence, territorial integrity, and security of Cyprus. Now, the big question was how to share power between the Greek Cypriots, who were the majority, and the Turkish Cypriots. They tried a setup where both groups would have a say in government, but it didn't work out well. By 1963, things have turned violent, with clashes between the two communities. The tension kept growing, and in 1974, it escalated big time. There was a coup by some Greek Cypriots who wanted Cyprus to become a part of Greece, and in response, Turkey invaded the northern part of Cyprus, saying that it was to protect the Turkish Cypriots. This innovation led the island to be split into two parts, the northern controlled by the Turkish Cypriots and the south by the Greek Cypriots. The north declared itself as Turkish Republic of Cyprus in 1983, so around 9 years after the invasion. When violence erupted between the Greeks and the Turkish Cypriots in the 1960s, Britain's role became more active. but their intervention was limited and couldn't prevent the division of the island. Today, Britain's influence is mainly through its military bases, but the history of British involvement is still a sensitive topic among Cypriots, with mixed feelings about the legacy of British rule and the ongoing military presence through military bases on the island.
So they created all this mass, all this.
So you're saying that it was the British that...
Started from the British. Just again, I shouldn't tell that, but I believe myself that all done by the British. And still they don't like us. Yeah. Although they have got two bases, two large bases.
If you also count the British bases, you can say that this island is split into 4 areas: Northern Cyprus, the Republic of Cyprus, the neutral zone in the middle, and the British military bases that they, according to Andreas, don't even pay rent for.
Which unfortunately they are not rented. They didn't pay anything. They paid, I think, 20 million pounds at the beginning in 1960 for 2 or 3 years. Then they stopped. They belong to them. They registered in their name. They are not rented. Yeah. Or we can't say get away.
The buffer zone between the two sides is patrolled by the United Nations. There have been a lot of talks about trying to sort things out, but so far no final agreement. Both sides of the border still have a lot of differences to overcome, but it's hoped that one day they will find a way to live together peacefully on the island. Some are even hoping for a united Cyprus, but Andreas don't see that happening anytime soon.
No, I don't believe that. Once you are doing with, the Turks are not ready. As far as there are problems between Greece and Turkey, the Cyprus problem will not be solved. No. And these troubles, or let's say differences, go back to the 14th century. Yeah. 1453, Istanbul, Constantinople, as we call it. It started from there. So they have to find way, those two countries, to solve their problems. And Cyprus problem, I believe, will be solved very, very easy. But until then, I cannot see a united Cyprus again. I cannot see in the near future.
As we talked about, Andreas used to live in Lefka, north of the border. But as things are now, he wouldn't go back there.
No, I'll never go there. I lost my houses, I lost all my property, but I not feel well. Probably I will get a headache if I go and see I had property there, houses, land, and so on. But I think I'll go this time when things are better. Yeah. To go to Lefka from here is only 20 kilometers. I believe I'll find some of my friends. Because I left in 1960. Yeah. And no obstacles. I can go there whenever I like. But it didn't happen. I didn't find somebody to tell me, come on, Andrea, let's go on the north. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure, I'll go. Believe me, I have nothing against the local Turkish people. Nothing at all. Yeah. And there are still if you look into my book, you'll see a lot of Turkish people coming here. And I speak a little Turkish.
Yeah, I'm sure he learned a bit of Turkish from the girl he met when he was a teenager.
You should go find that girl again.
I don't know. Believe me, she was very rich. Her father had a Mercedes car. He was the owner of an asbestos mining. Asbestos, he was earning a lot of money. He had a yacht, and I traveled a yacht just around Kyrenia and so on. We had very good terms with her father. Yeah. Her mother was a Greek Cypriot. That's why her father wanted to get married to a Greek Cypriot. Yeah. I don't know if it was luck or unlucky. I don't know. But she was very beautiful, and she liked me. I liked her, but my father said, get out.
It's a Romeo and Juliet.
My father was an old man. He never gone to school. He was a rich man. We are 9 brothers and sisters. 2 of them are living in England. But I obeyed to my father. I said, okay, father.
If you go to Cyprus and decide to go to the mountains, I highly recommend Christy's Palace Hotel in Pedoulas. It's got a stunning view and the staff is very friendly. And if you do, please say hi to Andreas from me. And you can, of course, find this hotel on hotels25.com. I put links for it in the notes.
And now, email from a listener.
Did you listen to last week's episode? In that one, I was also here on Cyprus, and I met a fellow nomad, Cindy, and had a chat with her when we were doing a hike. Since that episode, I got a voicemail from a listener who just discovered the podcast.
I loved your podcast. I just discovered it. I was on a Facebook group for digital nomads beyond 50, and I don't know, somehow I got to your podcast, and it is incredible. Thank you so much. I don't know how long you've had your podcast, but it is incredible, and I can't wait to listen to more episodes. Thanks for telling and sharing about Cyprus. I'm super excited to be able to go there and visit for myself. Thank you again.
Her name is Sheila, and she found the Radio Vagabond through a Facebook page for Digital Nomads Beyond 50, a community that both Cindy and I are a part of. Thank you so much for your kind words, Sheila, and for taking the time to send me this message. It means more to me than you can possibly imagine. And I've done more than 300 episodes, so there's a lot to dive into. You can also do what Sheila did. Go to theradiovagabond.com and click on the little banner you will find on every post where it says Talk to Me. That will open up a cool app called Telby where you can click record. After you're done talking, you can listen to yourself and do it again if you're not happy with it. And once you are, simply hit send. And if you really don't like to talk, you can also go to contact on theradiovagabond.com and write a message, or simply send an email to listener@theradiovagabond.com. Just let me know what you're doing right now as you're listening to this episode, or anything else you want to say to me. Thank you so much. And now back to Cyprus.
This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
And then I get into my trusty Ford Fiesta and head down the mountain. I set my Google Maps navigation to my next address in the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. And that turned out to be a big mistake. The route would send me across the border where there wasn't even a border crossing. So I ended up getting hopelessly lost.
Right now, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I've been following my Google Maps navigation from the mountains to the border control, where the crossing is to northern Cyprus, where I'm going, and it wasn't accurate. At some point, it took me down a road that was small. It got smaller, and then it became a dirt road. And at some point, it said you need to go down another dirt road, and that one looked as if there's been nobody driving on that for 20 years. But I could see that it was just 800 meters down that road, so and then I would turn right, so probably get onto a bigger road. So yeah, I'm adventurous, so I did that. And at some point, I was looking ahead, and I saw two white barrels 50 meters down the road. And so I thought, okay, I can't go any further. And thank God I saw that, because I managed to brake the car right in front of a big hole in the road. It wasn't just a pothole. It was like a deep hole. And I think my front wheels of the car just stopped few centimeters away from this hole, and if I hadn't seen the barrels in front of me, I would have driven on, and I would have been stuck there. I would simply have gone into that hole with the front wheels. So thank God I didn't do that. And when I was looking at the map in there on the dirt road, it kind of looked as if I was actually inside the buffer zone, the neutral zone between North and South Cyprus. Maybe that's why the two barrels were in the road, because that was the actual spot where But I don't know if I broke the law. Nobody said anything because I'm all alone out here, except for a few tractors that just looked at me like, what's that guy doing here? I turned around, tried to find another route, and at that point, the signal wasn't that great. So I drove and I got lost, and it said turn right here, and then it didn't, and I managed to get onto a paved road, and if I go a little bit further on this one, I should be able to get up to the main road. That will take me to the border. But what an adventure. I just spent half an hour, maybe an hour, driving around out here. And then when I get to the border, there's another issue, but I'll get back to that.
He's the radio vagabond, but casting his way from icy peaks to tropic greens display. Every download a story key, inspiring souls to wander, to live and be free.
I finally made it to the capital, Nicosia. And that's a unique city because it's the capital of both the Republic of Cyprus and Northern Cyprus, and it's the last divided capital in the world. This division is marked by the Green Line, the buffer zone, as mentioned, controlled and maintained by the UN, that runs right through the city, separating the Greek Cypriot south from the Turkish Cypriot north. Here, I was faced with another challenge.
So I am in Nicosia, the capital of Cyprus. It's actually the capital on both sides of the border, both for the southern Greek Cypriotic part of Cyprus and also for the northern Turkish Cypriotic part of Cyprus. The only capital in the world that's still divided. When I was going to Cyprus, I Googled and found on TripAdvisor people saying that if you rent a car in the northern part, you can't take it across the border, but if you rent one in the southern part, you can take it across the border. So I flew into the southern part and rented a car there and thought that I would just drive across the border and go and explore northern Cyprus in this little rental car that I have. But then I spoke to a local Cypriot that I'm going to meet tomorrow, later this afternoon, and also we're going on a walking tour in a few days. And she said, you better check with the rental company because a lot of rental companies, they don't allow you, even though it's from the south, that you take it across the border. So I called them and they said, nope, you cannot take it across the border. And I said, no possible way of doing that? Nope, there's no way. So I guess if it was a matter of me buying an extra insurance for Northern Cyprus, they would have told me, but I cannot bring it across the border. So I'm going to park it on the southern part of the border and then walk across. My home for the next couple of days is not that far from the border, so I can just walk there. It's around 1 kilometer or so I can easily do that and just bring the necessary stuff for 2 days and leave the rest in the trunk of the car. And I found a parking spot here at the Letra crossing that is €3 per day. So that's what I'm going to do for 3 days here. And as I'm here, I can see there's a wall with a barbed wire, and a little bit further another wall and a barbed wire, and kind of reminds me of the Berlin Wall, because on the other side that's the northern Cypriotic part. And I'm going there now. I park the car and just get my stuff, and then I'm gonna walk across the border. I'm walking inside the buffer zone now. It's around 500 meters between the two borders, and I just crossed the southern one, and now I can see the northern one with a sign above where it says Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus forever, and the forever is in capital letters. And then you have two flags, the Turkish flag and the Northern Cypriot flag. Is this here?
First time coming?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
I need the passport.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was easy.
You can see pictures, videos, and links and read much more on theradiovagabond.com.
It was an interesting walk in narrow streets with old buildings, and now I'm getting very close to the place I'm staying. It's called Palm Gardens Guest House. Yeah, I see the sign now. Hello. Thank you. I found it.
Finally.
Yeah.
Was it easy to find?
It was easy to find. I had my Google Maps.
That's good.
It was more difficult to find the border control because I'm in a car and I had to park that on the other side.
Okay.
So I just put in Letra Palace crossing,
Okay.
but that was the northern part, so it took me all kinds of different weird ways until I found, okay, just Letra Palace, and then that's where it is.
Okay.
But I got to do some sightseeing.
Okay. No worries. Perfect. Right on time, actually. Palep.
As I'm getting checked in, let's have some more facts about this divided capital.
And now, facts about where we are.
Nicosia has a rich history that dates back 4,400 years, making it one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. It's located in the center of Cyprus, and it's a hub for political, economical, and cultural activities on the island. The population of the entire city of Nicosia is about 330,000, with the southern part being more populous than the northern. Nicosia is the financial and business heart of Cyprus, hosting the headquarters of all Cypriot banks, many international businesses and governmental offices. The city is home to many museums, ancient churches and medieval buildings, including the Cyprus Museum, which houses the largest collection of Cypriot antiquities in the world. Nicosia is also an educational center, featuring many universities and higher educational institutions, which attract locals and international students.
And that was facts about where we are.
This looks so nice.
Thank you.
It was actually a local tour guide that recommended this place.
Yeah, oh, amazing. This is your room.
Nice, very nice.
Have a good rest.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had no car, so the next morning I caught a bus from Nicosia to Girne, also known as Kyrenia in English. It's a charming coastal town in northern Cyprus. The Turkish name Girne is commonly used by northern Cypriots, while Kyrenia is the historical and internationally recognized name, reflecting the town's Greek heritage. I'm gonna go with the local name. Girne is a town with just over 30,000 inhabitants, and it's celebrated for its picturesque old harbor, which is lined with lively cafes and bars where visitors and locals gather to enjoy the sea view.
How is that different, the Turkish coffee?
That is black coffee.
That's black coffee. You just call it Turkish coffee.
Okay,
Yeah.
no sugar, no milk.
Exactly, and then tiramisu.
And tiramisu.
Yeah.
At the east of the harbor stands the impressive Girne Castle, dating back to the 16th century when the Venetians expanded it. The castle is home to the Shipwreck Museum, which features one of the oldest recovered shipwreck, dating back to the 4th century BC.
Okay, so now I'm in North Cyprus, the Turkish part of Cyprus, and I don't have a car, and since I don't have a car, I got on a bus. I was recommended to go to Girne, which is a small little harbor city in the northern coast. It's around 25 minutes on the bus. And now I'm here. I got off the bus and walked a little bit through the retail area of Girne and made my way down to the waterfront, where I find a lot of life. It's a beautiful sunny day and a lot of cafes and coffee shops and restaurants, and made my way along the shore to the marina, and behind that I can see a big castle. I'm gonna go and check that out first, but I put my butt in a cafe and ordered a cup of coffee and a little bit of tiramisu. I had that on my mind, and then I saw a sign. So yeah, it's beautiful here.
The town is a major tourist hub in northern Cyprus, with its blend of scenic beauty, historical sites and vibrant nightlife. Placed against the backdrop of the dramatic Kyrenia Mountains, Girne offers excellent hiking opportunities and magnificent views of the Mediterranean Sea. Overall, there's a ton of history here, and the area around Girne has been settled for more than 3,000 years, with its strategic coastal location making it valuable to the different powers that have controlled the islands over the years, including the Romans, Byzantine, Venetians, Ottomans and British. The town today reflects a rich mix of Greek and Turkish cultural influences that can be seen in its architecture, food and cultural activities, making Girne a fascinating destination that shows the diverse history and cultural richness of Cyprus, and absolutely worth a visit. Next week we're taking a closer look at the buffer zone that divides Nicosia and the country, as I'm invited to go for a walk with a local. It's going to be super interesting, so make sure that you click that follow button in your podcast app. My name is Pedoulas, and I gotta keep moving. See ya.
Radio Vagabond. Gotta keep moving.
Produced by RadioGuru.co.uk.